What is the difference between erotic media that men consume and the erotic media that women consume? What is the reason behind this difference? And most importantly, how can you use your understanding of this difference to become more attractive? First of all, everybody kind of knows what the difference is between male erotic media and female erotic media. Men look at movies, look at pictures, look at live streaming, while women read books, read erotic literature. But why is this different? Why do men do one thing and women do something completely different? Some people have suggested that it's because men are more visual and women are more emotional and imaginative, but this is not the real answer. The real answer has to do with how we evolved different attraction signals, or what makes us attracted to the opposite gender. Men evolved a collection of attraction instincts that make men attracted to women that show signs of youth and beauty, where beauty is really a subjective label for health: symmetric face, clear eyes, smooth skin, straight teeth, flat stomach, perky breasts, straight legs, etc. And this can come through the visual channel. But why did men evolve this collection of instinctive traits? Well, if you imagine a whole bunch of men with randomly calibrated attraction instincts back in the day, the men that had the randomly calibrated genes that said young, healthy women are attractive, they would make more copies of themselves simply because young, healthy women can make more babies over their lifetime. So this configuration outpopulated everybody else. But what about women? How did women evolve their attraction instincts? They evolved a collection of attraction instincts that made them say, or made their instincts say, that men with status are very, very attractive. Because men have the job of producing wealth, making babies, and then paying for the babies with the wealth that they produce. While women have the job of making babies and having their babies paid for by the wealth that the men produce. So their instincts had to choose a man that was capable of providing wealth for her and her babies. And this can be determined through signs of status. Because in the ancient caveman days, the dudes that were the most productive, the dudes that produced the most food, they had the highest status. So any sign of status was something that ancient women's instincts, and are today, were very, very attracted to. So what's the difference between watching movies and reading books? Well, in the ancient days for women, it was very, very easy to determine who had high status or not, because everybody knew everybody. Everybody lived in the same tribe their entire lives. So all the high status men were very easy to identify. And they had high status based on the people they lived with their entire lives, based on the cumulative amount of respect and admiration they got from all these people their entire lives. So it was easy for women back in the caveman days to determine who has high status and who doesn't. But today it's much more difficult. In the modern world, for a woman to determine who has real high status, she has to see him in action. She has to see how he communicates with other men, how he responds to unexpected situations, unexpected adverse situations. And this is very difficult. This takes time. A man can walk into a room, or a woman can walk into a room and determine within seconds who the most beautiful woman is. But a woman can't really do that. She needs to spend time with the dude and see how he behaves around other dudes. And the best media to give men the ideally attractive woman is visual media, because we just need to see it right away. But for women, they need a whole lot of information. And erotic literature is the most effective way to present to her the ideally attractive man. Because when you're reading a book, you have access to everybody's thought processes. You know how everybody thinks about the hero. You know about how the hero thinks about himself. So it's very, very easy to deliver a fictionalized story of a high status male through written media rather than visual media. So that's why women love reading romance novels, because that's the most effective media to present to them the ideally attractive man that will fire all their attraction triggers. So what do we do with this information? How can you use this information to become more attractive? Well, a kind of shortcut idea, a shortcut label to describe high relative status is relative frame strength. When a woman is meeting a guy and she's determining if she's attracted to him or not, or rather her instincts are determining whether she's attracted to him or not, she needs to see how his frame holds up in a whole bunch of different situations with a whole bunch of different people. So think in terms of relative frame strength. How many people do you interact with whom you lead the conversation? You lead the frame. You have stronger relative frame strength. Now, when we say strong relative frame strength, we're not talking about winning arguments or forcing people to go along with your position. We're talking about having such a compelling frame that people enjoy being around you, that people naturally defer to your leadership, that people naturally defer to your opinion and your ideas, and people naturally follow you. So how can you develop this relative frame strength? Well, the first idea is to simply practice talking to people. But practice talking to people with the idea of building up your frame strength in mind. Be the person who starts the conversation. Be the person who ends the conversation. Be the person who leads the conversation, who leads the content of the conversation. If you do this, you will continue to build your relative frame strength. Another idea is to practice public speaking. Whenever you're standing in front of a group, this is a fantastic exercise in relative frame strength because your frame is stronger than your audience. And the more time you have experiencing this, the more your subconscious will accept that you have a stronger relative frame to more and more people. Another idea is to have a huge ambition for your life. Something that's more important than anything else. Something big and bright and powerful up into your future that you like going towards, that you like dreaming about, that you like talking about. So if you don't have a huge ambition, consider getting one and work on this every single day. Think about it as often as you can. Daydream about this as often as you can. A fourth idea to develop relative frame strength is to talk to attractive women. Not to seduce them, not even to get their phone number, not to ever see them again, but just to be the person who starts the conversation. Be the person who leads the content of the conversation. Be the person who ends the conversation, even if the conversation lasts 5 seconds. Because what you're doing is you're building a track record in your mind of you having relative frame strength over all of the pretty women that you're talking to. And fifth and finally, at the end of every day, look back over your day's interactions with other people and ask yourself, be genuinely honest, brutally honest with yourself. How many people today did you interact with where you held the frame, where you controlled the frame? And do this every night and try to get your number higher and higher and higher. You might start out pretty low, like I only held the frame with 20% of the people today, but try to shoot for a higher number and keep track of how many people you hold the frame over. If you keep this in mind, the idea of relative frame strength, and you do these exercises to continue to improve your relative frame strength, you will become more and more attractive to more and more women. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you'd like to learn more about how to improve your frame strength, check out the links below. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.